I'll start again. Hello, my name is Randall Fraser. I'm the Artistic Director of the National Stilt Walkers of Canada. And we would like to acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, the Blackfoot, the Métis, the Nakota, the Sioux, the Iroquois, the Dene, the Ojibwe, the Saulteaux and Anishinaabe, and the Inuit, and many others whose histories and languages and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. And I am going to start with some thank yous to an incredible bunch of people for whom I have a huge debt of gratitude and thanks for actually getting us to where we are today, that we're in this room, this specific room, on this day. So I have been, over the years, applied for CSJ positions. So that means Canada Summer Jobs. They help us hire students over the summer and give them an interesting and unique work experience. This year, at the behest of someone who will go remain nameless, I was encouraged to submit an application for 14 positions, thinking, oh, you know, they won't give me all of them. They did. So those 14 people constituted my office staff, my production crew, and my performance team. And I'm just going to acknowledge them right now because they are a stellar bunch. They've gone above and beyond all my expectations in getting us here today. So Chloe McCourt, Georgia Shaw, Vanshika Prusi, Sam Habtu, Drew Lekic, Arthur Gao, Jane, where'd she go? Jane, somebody I've known since she was 12 years old, Jane Walden. I know it's kind of embarrassing. And Lindsay, there's another one I'm having a brain fart on, somebody I've known since she was a little girl as well. Tell me your last name. Soltis, of course, duh. Jay, where did Jay go? Just wave, Jay. Jay, yep. And CJ, Andy, Meg, Camila, and Rory are my performers. You'll get to meet them very soon. We also have, thanks to Arthur, we have an incredible crew of volunteers on our tech crew. Rudy, Alec, and Alex, and then we have some great volunteers that helped with the costumes, Shelley and Beckett, and as well as I imported my sisters from Arizona so they could come up and help. No, they said they're coming, and I said, well, if you come now, you're going to get put to work. And that's Bonnie and Judy are my sisters. Our sponsors that help make what we do possible, especially given the climate that we're in currently, are the EAC, that's the Edmonton Arts Council, the Alberta Foundation for the Arts, AGLC with casinos, Canada Council, and especially Theatre Prospero. And Strathcona Composite helped us out with some very sophisticated equipment that made some of what you're going to see on that screen possible at all. I'd also like to thank my board. Strangely enough, Jane and Lindsay and Jerry are all on my board, along with Matthew and Lynn and Val. These are all people who volunteer their time to help set policy and give direction and help with applications for grants and all those kinds of things, and that keeps our boat afloat. We started out back in 2001 at the World Games, the IAAF World Games, and we were invited to be part of the opening and closing ceremonies. And since then, we have had anywhere from 50 to 10 to anything in between members, performing members as part of the group. And we've performed now all over the world, all over this province. And we're getting now ready for our next 20 years. So we're in a new location. This is a brand new location that you see us in here. and we're very excited to bring you a show that was inspired originally by the idea of using bamboo to make percussion. Bamboo percussion, Bamcussion. We've grown from that idea, and the other inspiration we took was how do we respond as an artistic company to all the chaos and strife and distraughtness in the world. And our way is by saying, let's remember that actually we're all one people. We have one heartbeat, and we all have a heartbeat. We all can listen to it. We all have compassion somewhere in our hearts. And we thought, let's explore how we as stilt walkers would express that. And what you're seeing tonight is the fruit of our labors for the last, well, I've been working on this idea for about 2 or 3 years now, maybe even more. But this group, 2 of the members have been stilt walking for quite a long time, but 6 of our members, they've been walking on stilts for 2 months. So they have come a long, long way. They've worked really hard, and I hope you enjoy what we have wrought. So without further ado, I invite you to enjoy Bamcussion, the story of the OneSong.
Well-coat humans, the place between places, and the time between times. I am the guardian of the one song, the heartbeat of the world. Everything that lives feels the one song at the root of their being. You can feel it in the beating of your heart, keeping rhythm and tempo in ever-changing dynamic balance. But before there was a song, there were the elements. And before the elements, there was nothing. I invite you to let your imagination reach out. Before there was time and space, there was a blank, empty nothingness forever. At a point, who could say, suddenly, there was a spark of flame, just like a glimmer in the vast emptiness. But it grew, and as it did, it drew matter into the distance, that slowly joined with it, giving it form and structure. After even more time passed, the new form found liquidity, fluidity, and movement, and its flaming heart started to pulse. And with that beat, it grew in air and discovered breath and expression. And so the first beings were born. One became two. Two became four. This continued as the new beings discovered new shapes and forms and expressions, and yet it all shared the same purpose. Eventually, though, they became too many, and their heartbeats passed on different rhythms and tempos. And they became separate and fun from the baby. This continued to multiply beyond the reach of their homes around the world. The ground shook and trembled. They were afraid that the volcano and drove them from their homes, dividing them in different directions and scattering them far and wide. The sky filled with ash that blocked out the sun, and the world became a cold, barren place. And in this empty landscape, one tribe still clung to the old ways, trying to bring back the spark of fire to the land. And this is where we find them today, trying in vain to make that which has been broken whole again. This is where our story opens, with the fire tribe in the Valley of Desolation. They follow the old traditions, the routines and rituals of their ancestors. They wonder why they cannot make the much-needed fire to warm their cold, sad lives. Lost and alone, they sometimes hear a far-off noise that pulls their attention. One day, they decide to follow the sound and see what lies beyond the rim of the crater. Meanwhile, in another valley, live the people of the Earth Tribe, who try to keep their traditions of form and function alive. The planting of seeds, the growing of roots, the binding of soil. They too have lost the way, and what used to bring abundance yields only crumbling, barren soil.
Roots! Roots! Dried up.
Sometimes they hear a strange music drifting from afar. Today, feeling desperate, they head out in search of the source of the strange sound. Out on the ocean, near a small island live the Water Tribe. They are feeling dispirited by the loss of purpose and meaning in their lives. They feel becalmed and disinterested in making the tides, whirlpools, the rivers and waves dance to their old patterns. When they hear a new sound carrying on the waves, they are drawn to the strange music towards the land in the distance. At the top of the world, on the highest peak of the highest remaining mountain, live the Earth Tribe. Following the old patterns of wind and weather, the old try to pass on the knowledge to the young.
Okay, no, not like that. Try again. Okay, no. First, we do this. And then we do this. And finally, we do this. One more time.
Not always successfully.
Tomorrow.
When a strange new sound wafting on the wind catches their attention, it draws them down to see what new thing lies below. Now we return to the Fire Tribe to see how they are faring on their journey. As they round the corner, they meet the Earth Tribe. At first, they challenge each other, seeing only threat. But soon, they realize they have common ground in their complementary song. of the time they spent off in friendship. Now we return to the water tribe as they encounter the creatures of the new sound they have been following. The air tribe are tall and billowy and somehow familiar. As they introduce themselves, they feel a kinship growing in the similarity of their song. Suddenly, a loud, jarring, thunderous sound frightens them. They select two of their group and send them out to scout to see what it is. The scouts return, being pursued by the combined fire and earth tribes. Avoiding encounter, they run to hide. Earth and fire enter and look for the one they have been chasing. Are they over there? We're over there. Over there? Yeah. No. Hey, wait a minute. For the first time, all four of the lost tribes are reunited.
Wait! Are you fire?
Yes, we're fire.
So, are you Earth?
Yes, we're Earth. So, are you water?
Yes, we're water.
And you're air?
Yes, we're air.
This is great.
That's amazing! I can't
They
believe it.
recognize each other, and for the first time since the fall, they feel joy and a hope for a new future.
Wait! Do you guys have one of these? Yes, we have one of those.
I do.
For the first time in millennia, the four parts of the mandala of elements are brought together and made whole, revealing the secret to bringing the one song back into the world.
not how it's done. Let's show them how it's done properly.
Unfortunately, their joy is soon crushed by their inability to unite their individual sounds. Everyone thinks that theirs is the most important part, and they should take the lead. Out of the chaos, one of the fire tribe falls. All are struck with stunned and afraid. Sorrow and remorse make them all turn inward to look at their own consciences and find themselves hearing their heartbeats clearly for the first time in a long, long time. Slowly they realize what has been there all along. One by one, they open their hearts, and out of compassion and listening to their true heartbeats, they bring fire back to life. The bond between all is reaffirmed. Now the one song can be brought back into the world as each finds their unique place within the whole. Once again, the world's heart beats as one. The elements and interface of the world flow in harmony and balance. The world is made whole again.
Well, thank you very much for coming out tonight and taking in our show. We have a little bit of time and we're wondering if you have any questions for myself or the performers about how we got here or stilt walking or anything like that in general.
Who composed the music?
Who composed the music? Our TD Drew Leckett composed the music. It was only a tiny mention on the bottom of his resume, but I thought, that's going to come in handy. So yes, and it was a very collaborative process. I'd say, we need it to be something like this, and it's got to fit this movement. And then he'd go away and he'd come back and say, like this? So, and that's what we have so far, so it's great. Any others? Any thoughts?
You have plans to move forward with this performance?
Thank you. Yes, that's a great question. Yes, this project was designed with a multifaceted approach going forward. So we're hoping to do more live broadcasts with it, but it was designed so that we can also tour it. So we could take this production as it is and do it at a festival in a field or in a theater or another space, or we can set all this up again and do it as a full immersion project. So we designed it so that we could hit different levels of presentation in different environments, definitely. So we're going to be looking at touring it. We actually may be, since you mentioned it, we may be performing at the Thousand Faces Festival in October, and I think it's the 15th and 16th of October. So check out Thousand Faces Festival. It's a great festival. This year, I believe the theme is centered around puppets and puppetry. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, this is definitely going to be worth taking in. Yes.
Still not pretty scared when you're up that high.
Are they?
Scared when you're up that high.
Are they scared where they're up that high? Well, I'll ask you guys. Are you scared when you're up that high?
No,
Not anymore.
We're more scared of you.
Yeah, the first day for everybody is, especially that first little while when you get up there and you realize that you're taller than most of the things around you. It's a little startling, but then there's a moment when you go from not having a clue and being terrified that it's ever going to happen, that you'll ever get it, to suddenly you've got it. And it happens like that. And then once you make that transition, it's like, what was the big deal, right? Yeah, so as you go from, to, all right, can I get taller? And we actually have today, the tallest stilts that we saw in the performance were 3.5 feet off the ground, which is our usual size that we wear at festivals and special events. But we also have, so we go all the way from 1 foot all the way up to those sizes, but we also go up to 6 foot and 8 foot. But we couldn't use those because we couldn't fit them in the frame. All you'd see is the tops of the feet, or the knees in this case. Yeah. Any other? Yes, in the back.
So how do you get on and off of 3.5 foot stick?
Well, we have, when you go out, you'll see we have these decks. They're called X decks, and they're like a giant ironing board, and they can be set for different heights. So we've got one set for the tall stilts and one set for the short stilts, and we also have a scaffold at the back that we use with a deck on it. So when we're out performing at festivals, we use whatever we can find. We've used the tops of our cars, we've used dumpsters, we've used the backs of pickups, just about anything we can find. What's that?
Mobile ATMs.
Mobile ATMs, yes, they're actually just the right height. Although if somebody's coming to use it at that moment, you're kind of like, yeah, go ahead. Any others? I have a question for you. Anybody want to try? I see some people up there that should give it a try for sure. Oh yes, we got a hand over here. And so we actually we are going to be offering workshops starting with in October with our Sunday drop-ins. We'll probably once a month we'll be having a Sunday drop-in, and then you can come and try it for a nominal fee. You'll have good instruction. We have trained instructors, and if you like it, then we're going to be offering weekend workshops where you can do an intensive workshop over a course of a weekend, usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday evening, Saturday day, and Sunday day, where we'll focus on a specific set of skills, and we'll do them in modules. So we'll go from beginner, intermediate, and the last one would be if you want to go on to becoming a professional, how to deal with things like falling in public, wearing costumes, interacting with the crowd. So we can get you all the way from, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, to it being a possible second career or first career for some people. Yeah. When we started back in 2001, we finished the World Games, and I had trained about 50 people to stilt walk, and they were all like, this is great, we got to keep doing this. And the World Games organization said that they would give us back all the costumes we wore in the ceremonies, but they couldn't just give it to a bunch of individuals. So they said, we'll only give it to you if you have a not-for-profit organization that we can give it to. So we went, okay, we can do that. And we formed the Edmonton Stilt Walker Society. And the very first gig was the summer of 2002. We were at the St. Albert Children's Festival. And then we started to get more gigs here, and it started building more festivals and more special events and parades around the province and this kind of thing. And then about 2008 or 9, I was doing my taxes, and I realized we were making more money doing this than my actual chosen career as a theater designer. And I went, I got to think about this. And then in 2010, we were sitting around making a joke. Somebody said, how do we, the Edmonton Stilt Walkers, get a gig in Calgary? And somebody said, well, and it started being bandied about, different ideas and thoughts. And one of the ideas that came up was Canadian stilt walkers, national stilt walkers, and it eventually landed on this, the National Stilt Walkers of Canada. And I looked it up. I found out there was nothing stopping us from doing that. Signed it up, and for our 10th anniversary, we launched ourselves as the National Stilt Walkers of Canada. It's been 10 years now since then, and we're in a new home, and we're getting ready for the next 10 years. So hopefully you'll get to see lots and lots of amazing stuff out in the next little while. So thank you once again to our in-house audience and our digital audience. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you out in the world soon. All right, you guys, you can go down now. Feel free to mingle with and if you have any extra questions, you can ask the performers once they get down.